All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into Oceanview Life's Harbourview Fixed Indexed Annuity.
Sounds good.
Um, you're thinking about retirement planning, and FIAs like this one are kind of a pretty interesting way, I think,
Yeah.
to grow your savings and keep them safe.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got the brochure for this Harbourview product
Okay.
and your notes right here,
Awesome.
ready to break it all down.
Yeah, and from what I'm seeing, there's a lot to unpack here, especially for someone looking for that balance
Right.
between, growth and protecting what they've already saved.
Exactly. Now, I always find it helpful to know, like, who's behind a product like this?
Mm-hmm.
So what can you tell me about Oceanview Life?
Well, right off the bat, I noticed they've partnered with Bayview Asset Management,
Okay.
and they manage a pretty impressive amount of
Well,
assets.
how much are we talking?
Oh, we're talking billions.
Wow.
Yeah, as of June 2023, they managed $17.3 billion.
Okay.
And they've got a 25-year track record. So
Good.
they've been around.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Yeah, so it seems like they know what they're doing when it comes to navigating those financial markets.
That's definitely reassuring. I mean, you want to know your money is in capable hands.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And another thing that caught my eye was that Oceanview Life has an A- rating from
Okay.
AM Best.
And what does that mean for like the average person?
So those ratings are like a financial health check,
Okay.
and an A- indicates that they're in a strong position to meet their obligations.
So we've got a solid foundation with
Yeah,
that.
looks like it.
Now let's get into like the details of this Harbourview FIA.
Sure.
What stands out to you as we look at the key features?
Well, one of the big selling points for people considering FIAs is principal protection.
Okay.
So basically, your money is guaranteed not to lose value just because the market takes a dip.
That's huge, especially when you're thinking about retirement.
Right.
And you don't want to have to worry about, the market wiping out your savings.
Nobody wants that.
Right. But how does the Harbourview FIA actually like grow your money?
Okay, so this is where things get interesting.
Okay.
They link your growth potential to how certain market indices perform,
Okay.
but without directly investing in the stock market.
So you get like the potential upside
Yeah.
without the crazy risk.
Right, exactly. You're not on that roller coaster.
Which indices are we talking about here?
So they offer a few choices. You got the S&P 500,
Okay.
the NASDAQ 100, and the Russell 2000.
So it's like choosing between, like a familiar, well-rounded option like the S&P 500
Mm-hmm.
or something potentially more growth-oriented like
Yeah.
the tech-heavy NASDAQ 100.
Exact, different flavors for different tastes.
I like that.
And they don't stop there. They also offer different crediting strategies,
Okay.
like point to point,
Sure.
which looks at the index performance between two specific dates, or monthly average, which, as you might guess, averages the performance over the month.
So even within each index, there are different ways to capture those gains.
Yep, you got it.
That's pretty nuanced.
It is. It really is. And it highlights just how important it is to consider your risk tolerance and how these various options might play out.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about someone who's just not comfortable tying their retirement savings to the ups and downs of even these big indices?
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a alternative within the Harbourview FIA?
Yes, they also offer a fixed interest rate option.
Okay.
It's declared annually by Oceanview Life.
So you've got options,
You do. It might not have the same explosive growth potential,
right?
but it provides a steady, predictable return, and that appeals to a lot of people.
That's good to know. And what about accessing your money? Retirement isn't about locking your savings away forever.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right.
The Harbourview FIA lets you withdraw up to 10% of your contract value annually,
Okay.
penalty-free after the first year.
So it's like a safety valve.
Yeah, exactly, if you need to access funds.
That's great. Now, in your notes, you specifically wanted to discuss the waivers
Yes.
and what they mean for you. So what did you find interesting there?
Well, they have riders for nursing home confinement and terminal illness,
Okay.
which is pretty standard for these types of products.
Mm-hmm.
But what I thought was really interesting is that these riders waive any surrender charges and market value adjustments
Right.
if you need to access funds due to those circumstances.
It sounds like they've considered those what-if scenarios
Yeah.
that we don't always want to think about, but we should.
Right, exactly.
So surrender charges
Yeah.
and market value adjustments, those seem pretty important.
They are, and we should definitely unpack those in more detail.
Okay.
But first, let's finish covering some of these key aspects of the Harbourview FIA,
Right.
particularly the wealth transfer feature.
Right.
I think you'll find that relevant.
Sounds good to me. Let's keep going.
Okay, so this wealth transfer feature,
Sure.
it makes sure that if you pass away,
Your beneficiaries,
okay,
they receive the full contract value,
okay.
free of any surrender charges or market value adjustments.
So it's a way to like protect your loved ones
Yeah.
and make sure that your investment benefits them.
Exactly.
That's a really important thing to consider as we think about like the bigger picture of retirement planning. But you mentioned surrender charges
Totally.
and market value adjustments earlier.
Yes.
Those can be kind of tricky to wrap your head around.
Yeah, they can be.
Can you break those down for me in a way that like
Sure.
makes sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So let's start with market value adjustments, or MVAs.
Okay.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
When interest rates rise,
Mm-hmm.
the value of existing fixed income investments, like the ones often backing annuities,
Okay.
they can go down.
Okay.
And an MVA is applied to withdrawals
Okay.
to account for those fluctuations in the market.
So if interest rates go up,
And I need to take out more than my allowed free withdrawal,
yeah,
I might not get back as much as I expected.
that's the potential downside. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's important to remember that MVAs, they can work in your favor too.
Okay.
So if interest rates happen to fall,
Mm-hmm.
an MVA could actually increase the amount you receive
Okay.
upon withdrawal.
So it's a two-way street.
Yeah.
And it all depends on what's happening with interest rates.
Exactly, at the time of the withdrawal.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, what about those surrender charges?
All right, so surrender charges,
Yeah.
those are essentially fees
Okay.
that apply if you withdraw more than your allowed free withdrawal amount,
Mm-hmm.
or if you decide to surrender your annuity contract entirely before the end of its term.
Okay.
They're designed to encourage you to stay committed to the agreement
Right.
and allow the insurance company to manage their funds effectively.
I understand that, but it does
Yeah.
feel a bit like a penalty
It can, yeah.
for needing access to my own money.
Yeah.
So how long do these surrender charges typically last?
Okay, so the good news is
Okay.
the Harbourview brochure gives you a clear surrender charge schedule.
Okay.
The length of the schedule depends on the guarantee period you choose.
Okay.
So, for example, a 3-year guarantee period
Mm-hmm.
has surrender charges that start at 9% in the first year,
Okay.
and they gradually decrease every year until they disappear in year 3.
Okay.
Longer guarantee periods usually have longer surrender charge schedules.
So there's a trade-off. Longer commitment
Yeah.
for potentially higher returns,
Mm-hmm.
but also a longer period where surrender charges could apply.
Right. Exactly.
You've given me a lot to think about.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground here, haven't we?
We have the partnership with Bayview Asset Management,
Mm-hmm.
Oceanview Life's strong financial rating,
Yes.
the key features like principal protection
Right.
and growth potential linked to those indices,
Yeah.
plus the fixed interest rate option.
That's right.
And we even tackled those kind of confusing aspects of
Mhm.
MVAs and surrender charges.
You've been taking great notes.
Oh, well, I'm trying to.
And remember, this whole deep dive is about giving you the knowledge you need to make a good decision.
Absolutely.
It's clear you're taking this seriously, which is important.
I appreciate that. But even with all this information,
Yeah?
I still have this question. Like,
Yeah.
where does a fixed indexed annuity like this
Mm-hmm.
actually fit into my overall retirement planning?
Right.
You know, should it be the main course or just a side dish?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Okay.
I mean, a fixed indexed annuity like this could be a fantastic addition to your portfolio,
Okay.
offering that balance of growth potential and downside protection we talked about.
Right.
But it really depends on your financial goals, your risk tolerance,
That's correct.
and your overall investment strategy.
So what's the takeaway for me?
We'll take a moment and think about what we've talked about today.
Okay.
How do the features we discussed align with your retirement goals
Oh.
and your comfort level with risk?
Mhm.
And then maybe reach out to a financial advisor.
Okay.
They can provide personalized guidance
Yeah.
based on your unique situation.
That's a great suggestion. And
Yeah.
I think it speaks to the importance of not just gathering information,
Yeah,
but also seeking expert advice when making these decisions.
absolutely. Having a knowledgeable professional in your corner
Mm.
can be invaluable when you're navigating the complexities of retirement planning.
For sure.
They can help you see the bigger picture
Right.
and make sure you're on track to achieve your goals.
Well said. It's interesting you mentioned that about a financial advisor,
Yeah.
because in your notes, you specifically mentioned diversified insurance brokers.
Yes.
So what made them stand out to you?
Well, like we've been talking about, annuities can be pretty complex.
Mm-hmm.
And working with a broker who specializes in these products can be really helpful. They can shop around for you,
Right.
compare different options from different companies,
Right.
and help you find the best fit based on your needs and goals.
So it's like having an expert in your corner,
Exactly.
someone who can help you with the fine print and
Yeah.
all the details.
They demystify the process,
Okay.
answer your questions, and make sure you feel confident.
That makes a lot of sense, especially with a product like the Harbourview FIA,
Right.
where there's so many different options and factors to consider.
Yeah, it's all about feeling empowered and informed.
Absolutely.
You want to make sure your savings are working hard for you. And
Right.
a good broker can help you do that.
For sure. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into Oceanview Life's Harbourview fixed indexed annuity,
Okay.
I'm going to leave you with this thought. Retirement planning doesn't have to be daunting.
Right.
By taking the time to learn about your options
Mhm.
and seeking guidance when needed,
Yes.
you can create a plan that gives you confidence and peace of mind.
Well said. And remember, every journey starts with a single step.
Mm-hmm.
By diving deep into topics like this, you're already well on your way to a secure and fulfilling retirement.
I like that. Thanks for joining us on this exploration of fixed indexed annuities.
Of course.
We hope you found it informative and empowering. Until next time, keep learning,
Keep exploring.
keep exploring, and keep diving deep.
Happy planning.